Welcome, welcome again to another episode of Living Purposely on Purpose. Today, I am so excited because I have this amazing lady that I want to bring to the pod. She has an awesome story of how she's living in purpose. Her name is Roxandra. She's a stress management coach and a clarity coach for moms in business. Her journey was the other way around, from zero to hero, and she learned to find her purpose to be her again. Roxandra is also a public speaker who is on a mission to empower women to be who they truly are. She will be sharing all of her struggles and lessons learned with you on this episode of Living Purposely on Purpose. So let's get into it as we join Roxandra to the platform.
Yay! Hi, welcome, and thank you for having me. Thank you, Lynn.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I have spoken to you a few times, and every time I've spoken to you, you have just been an amazing delight, an amazing
Oh,
delight. So I can't wait to hear what you have to share with us today. So
oh, thank
first,
you.
why don't you tell us about Roxandra? Like, who are you? Are you married? Do you have children? How did you start your business? Let's just start with those couple of questions.
Absolutely. So, first of all, I can say that originally I am from Romania. My name is Roxandra, and I had my first successful business when I was 16. I had no idea I'm doing business at the time. I was still in high school, pedagogical high school, because I knew I want to be a teacher. And the opportunity was there, and I started running kids parties. So I was organizing and planning them and being a Cinderella and doing all the bits and bobs. And it was incredible. And I love it. And I created the team. I had a few colleagues from my high school, and I trained them how to do face painting, how to do modeling balloons. And it was so big that I was earning like in 1 week more than my parents did, like in a full amount in their professional jobs. So it was wow, it was crazy. And yes, this is when I felt like I was doing the right thing for myself. And this is when I felt that everything was so aligned and I was so energetic and I loved what I did. And I made lots of money, which at the time, at 16, it was brilliant. I learned lots of
Wow.
things.
You've already said so much, and on it, like we are going to just, I want the audience to get everything that you just said. You were 16 years old and
Yes,
you
I
you
was.
knew you wanted to be a teacher.
Mm.
So in by so being a teacher, you said you're going to start doing these things with children and you start to organize that.
Yes. So what's really, really interesting is I think when I was around 5, when I was in kindergarten,
Wow.
I had two teachers, and one was a good teacher, and the other one was the bad teacher. The reason why I'm saying that is because this is when I realized I want to be the good teacher. And this is when I was 5, and I was like, this is it. I want to be a teacher. And the reason why I'm saying that the bad teacher was bad, it was because she was actually punishing me in a way. I was a very energetic girl since I was very young. I had lots of energy, and I was a bit, outsider. Like I was thinking outside the box, and I was the one who was putting everyone together and let's do this, let's do that, and I was the creative part. And I think the bad teacher didn't really like me to take the lead that much, and the good teacher was always the one who was like, yes, she's a leader. Okay, Roxandra, you can take two kids and you can do this and you can do that. And she was giving me lots of activities to do, and I felt so important, which is exactly what I needed at the time. And this is when I think I made my mission. Like, I want to be a teacher. And my whole life was me, being around children and just doing amazing things with them. And after that success as a business, it was like for about 2 years. And I really wanted to go abroad, to study abroad, to be a teacher, because Romania, probably or maybe you don't, but it was a bit of corruption there, and I was an A student. I was always, on top of my education. I have a sister as well, and this is when my father really stepped in, and my mother as well. They always said, you don't really have to worry on anything else. All you have to do is to be the best and try as much as you want, to achieve exactly what you want and focus on your education. And they really kind of guided us to learn languages and, just to be resilient. This was the thing I learned from a very young age, to be resilient. So when I was 18, I packed everything full, I would say, back with dreams. And this is it, me traveling to England. I got a bursary and I was on my own. And I was alone on my
So
own.
you went to England all by yourself. How old were you?
18.
18. Wow.
Yes, just so I can fulfill my dream to be a teacher. So this
Yeah.
was it. So when I knew I have a direction, kind of, this is what I'm always saying, like your purpose. So what is your purpose? Usually people are thinking that purpose is actually being perfect. It's not perfectionism.
No.
Purpose for me means to live in alignment, and to live in alignment with who you are, what you need, and actually take action and everything you feel to be in align, to actually be true to who you are. So I know I love the introduction you did at the beginning. I'm all about empowering women and especially moms, because I've been working with children for so long. So now I think it was time to start working with moms. And I'm not saying you cannot make mistakes, because I truly believe you need to be authentic and you need to show your vulnerabilities, but you do need to find more about who you are and what do you want. So instead of just let the life to happen to you, you need to start creating the life that you want. And this is when you start living in purpose. So when I said to you that, yes, my story was the other way around, is because I started from being a hero to actually, at some point when I was really, really bad and I got burnout, I was in depression, I was in anxiety, really, really panic attacks. Like for 4 years, I struggled with that. So this is when I had no idea what to do next. And I had no idea what's going on with me, because everything on paper looked really well. Like I had an amazing life, I did lots of things. And I can go back and telling you, all the great things I did. But then when I felt stuck and I I was lost. So I lost myself, and I was really, really trying and finding out what's, causing that, because for 4 years I had no idea how to move on. My mind was like on fire. I couldn't rest. I couldn't do normal activities. I was stuck in a job, 9 to 5 job, because this is what I thought I need to do. And yes, I listened to other people that they love me, but it wasn't me. I was the one that he usually, loves to do lots of things and loves to be involved in different projects. I mean, this is how I work, and I like to connect with other people, and I'm all about meaningful relationships and meaningful change and transformations. And this is when I, lost myself. This is probably what I would say. And it was a dark moment. I was in pain for years. They put me a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, which is like a chronic disease. And they
Yes.
said, like, you need to live with pain. This was it. And I was in my 30s. So
Wow.
this is how stress management coaching started, because I was in bed for like 3 months. I couldn't move at all. And it's really funny because that particular year, I got married with my husband that I loved. And we have such a beautiful story. Maybe I can share another time. It's, sometimes you do have to go with the flow and just believe that good things will happen. And I bought the house that I've been saving since I was in my second year of uni in England. So finally, I bought the house, and I thought everything is fine. We tried to have a child, it didn't work, and finally it worked, and I had a miscarriage. So this journey for those 4 years, honestly. Nothing worked. And I was focusing on money. I was focusing on why is this happening to me, and I was so negative. And neuroscience is definitely showing us that our brain loves certainty, right? So unless you are really, really true, and you have to understand that in order to make good decisions, confident decisions, and to have a really good focus and take action, this is the prefrontal cortex that's, is your CEO of your brain. And unless you know that, it's not aligned with what you do, then you switch to the amygdala, which is the stress center of your brain. And this is when you have all this overwhelmed and you feel really, really worried, and you have the fight and fear and freeze mode, like the danger mode, which is
Yeah.
switch on. And you can't do nothing. Like all you see, it's pain. All I saw was frustration. All I saw was I'm not good enough. All I saw was I'm gonna die. I was in darkness. So all of these things. And then this is when I step in with the clarity. The
Yeah.
bridge, between stress and clarity is actually taking action. And you cannot take action from this stress mode. You do need to switch. And then once you make that switch, then this is when the clarity steps in, and then you take action, and then you activate that, and here you go. You can be on top of the world again.
Okay. So, how would someone make the switch? Because I see your purpose outlined so clearly. Because at 5 years old, you recognized that you wanted to be a teacher based on these two separate modules of teachers in your life. And
Mm,
that birthed a purpose for you becoming a teacher. Now you're fulfilling your dream of walking in purpose as a teacher. And I felt like God saw something. He wanted to bring you to a higher level where you can not only help children, but how can you help moms of children? So now you're put in this season, right, of 4 years where you're struggling, where you're trying to figure it out, but you feel stuck. And in that process, you learned something new. And that
mm-hmm.
was the process of what you became your stress free zone, right?
Exactly. And
Yes.
exactly. And this is, I will say, my three-step formula. So I had to go through all this experience. So actually now I'm in a better position and I can empower even more people. And I love what I do. And it's just so beautiful. So I do have three steps that I can share with you, which I
Yes.
would love to share with you. So first stage is the foundation. It's finding out who you are. This is how you can make the switch, and this is how you can actually start stepping in, living purposefully. So
Yes.
find out what your needs are, find out what your values are, and find out about your core beliefs. For me, it was easy when I was living the dream, right? But when I got stuck, I lost everything. I was so vulnerable, and I started kind of doing everything everyone else wanted from me. I had no idea what my needs are. I had no idea what are really my values, and and the beliefs actually are mine, or actually are my mom's or my auntie's or someone else's in my life. So a very quick exercise you can do is actually asking yourself, um, who you are, in a way of, okay, so you can ask your friends, you can ask your parents, you can ask your family members what they see in you. That's the first thing to do, because we all have gifts. It's just a matter of time to find your gifts. But it's really easy once the foundation is done and it's completed and you know your needs. This is the main thing. Then it will be easy to understand your business needs, your husband needs, your children's needs, and everything will align very nicely. So for me, I knew, for example, for needs, yes, I knew I had to be listened to. I always had this voice in me that wanted to be heard, and everyone around me came for advice. Even when I was very young, this was my strength. I love to share knowledge, and I have a way of doing it that people do get it. I'm all about simple and effective results, because we don't have time for blah, blah, blah. So I knew that's my strength. Now, for you, think about values. Like, don't make it complicated. Choose one or two needs you have to focus on, one and two or two values. They are really important to you. So, what are those values? For me, it was always about family. My mom, she has five brothers. My father, they are four. Both of my grandmothers, they were all about family, relationships, trusting, love, and all of my cousins, all of my aunties and uncles, they have at least one or two. So literally I have lots of cousins. And believe it or not, even now, even if they live in so many different parts of the world, when we have an event, we are always there for each other. even when one of us is going through something big, like for example, trying to get like a driving license, we all encourage each other. We'll be like, okay, you can do it. Well done. Or if someone has an exam, or, we've been there for each other. So I know that's the value for me as well. I want deep connections with my family. So I will prioritize that. No matter what is going to be on my to-do list all the time. So this is it. And the beliefs, again, you really have to go and dive a bit deeper on what do you truly believe? It's still serving you, or it's a belief that's holding you that no longer needs, to be in your life.
Yes.
So this will be the first, I will say.
Wow. You gave us a lot just right there. I think a lot of times, no, because a lot of times people are stuck and they don't know where to start. I deal with people that I coach all the time. Those are similar to where I bring them to as well. And the foundation is knowing yourself. The foundation is figuring out what your belief systems are, what your values are, who you are, asking others, what do they see in you? Because sometimes, especially when we are part of traumatic experiences, we tend to not be able to see ourselves clearly, and others will be able to pull out what's in us and show it, shine a light back to us like, this is what I see in you. And it helps to build the gap between who we think we are and who others see us as. So,
Mm.
definitely, Roxandra, you gave us a lot just right there alone. So, how did you
I have
go
another
through?
two steps. Let's go to the whole, shall we?
Go ahead. Yes, go
Let's
ahead.
go to the whole formula. So the second one, it's even, I will say for me, was the life changing. So the second one, it's my 3 E's, I call it, because it's all about emotions, energy, and effort. So once you learn about those things in your life, so with emotions, especially if you're a mom, you do want to be a role model for your children. And even if you're not a mom, if you're around kids in general, they will copy everything you do. And most
Yes.
importantly, they will copy the way you react to things. So emotions plays an important role. And this is when I see this happening all the time with my clients, even in business. If someone as a child went through, let's for example say tantrums, right? When we all been through that. And if the parents weren't there to guide them in a right way, in a way to let them to express those feelings and to understand their frustrations, then later on in life, they will end up probably being aggressive, being irascible, very irritated, very easy, frustrated, and being very upset very easily. They could actually get into a really uh, case of being distracted very easily and finding it very hard to make relationships or to live in a relationship and so many things just because when they were little they didn't know how to understand those emotions. So with emotions it's really important to understand them and also to acknowledge them and to let them be. It's okay, we are all going through them. It's not a case of and this will go with stress as well, hand in hand. I'm helping my clients to manage their stress, not to ignore it, but to understand it and to
Yes.
learn how to heal from it because it's crucial. And then we talk about energy. We are all energy, right? So with energy, again, we have different gifts, as I said before, but some things could be very easy for you to do. You might love to do certain things and you don't even realize that's a gift and it's your skill. They just flow. You don't struggle. You don't feel like you put a lot of effort in. It just flows. So that's your wow. That's your wow skill. And you need to do more of that so actually you
Yes.
can get the fulfillment that you need because when energy flows the sky is unlimited. You can do,
Yes.
you're unstoppable. And if you start looking to see what's draining your energy, what do you feel annoyed? What do you feel scared of? What do you feel like it's gonna be such a difficult task for you? And this is when you can start delegating, or this is when you can start asking for help. And this is when you can start working and networking and working with others. And then what's really good, what you have a great energy, then you can do more of that. And then what someone else, you can just do an exchange of energies, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Yes, that's great. And also the effort is another big part because with the effort, you do need to find balance, right? So you don't want to again find it overwhelming, because when you have a mental load, this is when most of my moms are in this situation, or not even moms in general. You feel like you have so much on your plate and you don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
And you start your day, very happy, enthusiastic. You might start your day and your brain is like, yes, I have so many desires for today. I have so much on my to-do list. It's going to be incredible. I have so many dreams. It's going to be awesome. And then afternoon kicks in. And guess what? You start feeling horrible. You start feeling depressed. You start feeling like, oh, I haven't achieved everything I wanted. And then all your adrenaline and all the excitement of carry on actually stops you from doing it, because you go in the stress mode instead of actually being, having that clarity and taking action. And this is when you're stuck again, because you put too much effort on the things that are not important to you. So living in purpose again is a choice, and it's a choice you take every day to focus your energy and to put your effort on things that are meaningful for you as a mom, for you as a business owner, for you as a friend, for you as a whatever role and whatever hat you're wearing.
absolutely. One of the things I always say is where your focus goes, your energy flows. So if
Hmm.
you're focusing on the negative, your energy is going to deplete because now you're bringing in that negative energy into your system, which is going to make you feel overwhelmed, feel anxiety, anxious, all of those negative emotions that where it's not going to make us feel empowered to do what we actually need to do. So where your
Hmm.
focus goes, your energy will flow. So absolutely.
Exactly. And on top of that, this is my third step, I would say, from my framework. What I discovered, it's the teamwork, and having a community. Who is in your corner when you have a bad day? Who you can go and say everything you have on your soul, or who is there for you? Because we haven't been built to be on your own. And this is what I saw more and more, especially the last couple of years, the last decade. We used to raise a children, the children, especially like in villages, right? We used to be there for each other. We used to be big families. We used to, everyone in the neighborhood was celebrating your birthday, for example. And nowadays, I see more and more and more families that are they on their own. So even
Yeah.
if they have, like, okay, my case is different because I am abroad, but it's not different. So many other families are in the same situation. They are not living in their own, you know, country, and they are abroad. But even if they are not living abroad, it's the same problem in a way, that they feel alone. It's just me and my husband, and that's it, and a few friends here and there, but that's it. And they live that, I call it basic life. It's basic life because it's on autopilot. You don't even realize your alarm is set up. You go to work, you do what you have to do, and you are just tired. And then if someone is asking you how was your day, you can barely remember what you did, because you were in that mode, like automatically doing the same things all over again. So supporting and networking and having a team, I call it a team, it's so important. And for me it was a life changing, because for me it was really difficult when I started the stress management coaching business. I had no idea what actually I want to do. I knew I want to help, but from a business perspective, before that, yes, I had a few other businesses I tried, because at the time I was all about money, money, money. I managed to get a really good business, I would say, in e-commerce back in 2016, which was something brand new. It was amazing. I made lots of money, but then I got in bankruptcy. So, I had lots of setbacks, but in the same time, I didn't really know how to ask for help and how to work with others, because I thought I need to do everything on my own. So I
Yes.
was investing in courses and I was training myself, and I was paying, for coaching, but it was a case of wanting to learn everything: marketing, advertising, funnels, how to do the designs, how to, and at some point
Guilty.
it was, yeah, it was too much. It was too
Yeah.
much for one. Yes. And this is when I was like, okay, how about if actually I meet other people that they are really good at that? And I started recruiting from Fivers, I had low budget. I was like, people per hour, another app you can use. And I saw those beautiful souls, and they were so dedicated and so passionate about their work. And I was just starting building a team around me. And also, I started going physically, locally. For me, it was public speaking. I love public speaking. So I joined the public speaking group, which actually I thought they would teach me how to, to talk in public. But for me, it wasn't a problem. Confidence wasn't a problem. And then I was like, I'm going to go in their panel. I'm going to be there so actually I can give feedback because I was really good at that. As a teacher, you learn how to give constructive feedback, like a sandwich method: positive, negative, positive. This is perfect in business or everywhere, you use that. So I started being surrounding myself with like-minded people that kind of had the same vision as I did, because it's really hard, and I get it, especially if you want to go in the entrepreneurial journey. It's so hard because God gave you this vision for you. You see yourself doing something so great, but nobody around you could see what you see. And because you are just so scared in making, taking that step forward, it's very hard unless you have someone else who can see your potential, or who can say like, oh yes, you can do it, or just have that a bit of encouragement. And this is where community steps in, and having your team, having someone in your corner, it's so important. And the other thing I would just say that really really changed my life, I was so worried before that I need to see the full picture. I couldn't take, the next step. And this is when I was stuck in this amygdala mode, yeah, the stress center mode, which it, it was in fear, everything, that overwhelm and self, not feeling worthy and not being confident, and all those things are actually, you are in fear. And you cannot step in that, clarity and taking the action and focusing and making decisions and stuff. So you don't need to see all the steps. You don't need, and everything you're thinking of is maybe it's not even gonna happen. Just take the step and then let the universe to show you, and it will open so many other doors. It's incredible, and you can really create magic, and it can take you into places you never thought you can go. It's incredible. Just have a bit of faith, and just let yourself take one step, and then just let everything else to flow.
Ah, you're speaking my language. I mean, everything that you've said is literally stuff that I have, that has driven me to where I am today as well. Because when I first saw, me becoming a coach, I was the only one that I knew to be a coach. So I didn't have community. It was like, it was a sense of fear because you didn't know how others were doing it and how they were succeeding at it. So you really tried to learn everything that you could, and you were constantly paying for either more courses or more coaching or something because you felt this vision, but no one around you understood where the vision was leading. So I completely get it. And if you don't have the community and those friendships around you to like pour into you when you
Mm,
feel a little bit like uncertain, for them to like encourage you to keep going, it is more difficult. So community is so important. And even beyond business, it's important because when we have friendships, if you, I've heard, I think it was Jim Rohn, he said, look at the five
five.
people that you're closest to, right? And they are going
Yeah.
to impact how you behave and how you respond and how you are driven. So I had to look around myself and see who was around me that was encouraging me, who were on same directions of living in purpose, and who was trying to align themselves with the will of God. And those people I drew closer with. And as I drew closer to them, it made a difference in how I showed up, in how I stepped out in living in my purpose as well. So
Exactly.
I say that to everyone that's listening. Check your friendships. Check who's
Mm.
around you because they will make an impact in how you proceed in pursuing your goals and your visions.
Absolutely. High five to that. And I can 100% relate to it. And I've been through that. And what's really even incredible is that once you step, and start making those friendships, and once you start connecting more and more and more, your energy changes. And then guess what? You attract, exactly what you are. So that's why I'm going back to basics. Be true to who you are, because the authentic self, the way you are incredible already. And you might not see it because, like you mentioned earlier on, yeah, doing more courses. I see this every day with my clients. They will do more courses, they will do more of that. More. This is because they have the fear of success, or it might be the imposter syndrome, or it might be fear of not failing. It's so much in their mind going on, which is stopping
Agreed.
them actually to be who they are. But believe me, once you do that, and what it worked for me, it was a case of putting my mind towards, like, okay, I'm going to do it messy. I want to do this imperfectly. I'm not looking for perfectionism anymore like I used to do. And now I'm like, I'm going to do it messy. Because when I
Yes.
started my YouTube channel like years ago, when I was in that dark moment, I was like, okay, what do I want to leave behind? And as I knew, it's something that I love to share my knowledge, and this is what everyone around me, they were like, oh my gosh, you know so much, you've been through so much, you have so many experiences, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, well, let me share. And I shared on that YouTube channel everything, like from mortgages, finance, school, living in England, to traveling around the world, how I traveled and I worked in orphanages because I went in Peru, in Kurdistan, in Iraq. Like, everything kind of what I did and I thought is valuable, but it was a mess. And I had no structure. I find it really difficult to have a structure. It was really messy. But even then, I remember spending hours in editing one video, spending hours comparing myself with those YouTubers' thumbnails, and I had no idea how to do that to be more professional. And I was
Right.
so critical. And I spent a lot of time learning about hashtags and how to have a viral video and blah, blah, blah. Instead of actually focusing more on bringing value, I spent so many hours, and I was even when I launch, of not launch, post it, publish, or whatever was the name for it, when you upload it on YouTube, I was criticizing myself. Like, for, oh, I said that. Oh, why didn't I say, like criticizing, criticizing, criticizing. And this is why my channel never grew at the time, because I was such in a horrible, a low level, and I was comparing myself to everyone else. And then I was like, okay, let me start being messy. And it's fun. Do it as a fun, like a game. And then you start seeing perfectionism as a progress. And actually you start seeing, oh, what have I learned from it? And then you just step by step, you just get better and better, but without criticizing yourself. You just get better. And this is what's going to attract more people to you as well. Sometimes I make spelling mistakes, you know, in purpose, because this is how people relate. And this is another business strategy, I would say. And if I'm having like an interview with, I have you're gonna be in there as well, I have my guest speakers as well for Supermom's Magic Circle, which is my community, and it's beautiful. I'm not editing out anymore, even if now I have a team, which is marketing team, and I have my little little team of editors, which obviously they help me now. But I'm saying, like, don't cut that out. This is, who we are.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for perfection anymore. And this is where I can say I'm happy with what I have in my life. I'm happy and I'm fulfilled, and I feel like I do live the life I want to live. And I'm choosing this on a daily basis. I have
Awesome.
days and days, and yeah, it's
No,
difficult. Yeah.
you are definitely speaking my language again, because I've always said comparison is a thief of joy. I've been saying that for years, and it's because it is. When I compare myself to others, I don't see what I'm bringing to the table. I leave other people to judge me at this point. I don't judge myself anymore. I just do my best. And once you're doing your best, you're bringing that energy, like you spoke about, to what you're doing. Because now you're putting in it might not be as good as everyone else, but guess what? It's your best. And as long as you're doing your best, you're going to grow and become. And like you said, perfectionism is a progress. And that's what it is. It's not about being perfect. I've always looked at doing stuff like, I want to see my growth. I want to see how I have improved. And if I start at perfection, then how do I see the growth? How do you see the
Exactly.
growth? You don't. You only see me pop out, and I can't just pop out. I'm a little frog in this big old pond right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yes, of course. I think one of the biggest mistakes we all make is obviously comparing, and this this is we judge ourselves a lot, and we are so this is how our brain works, and it's not too much we can do about it. But it's so important just to let go of all those fears and
Yes,
all the what society wants for you and what everyone else thinks is good for you, and just I will say again, be true to who you are. And how do
be
you find
true
who
to who
you
you
are?
are.
You start discovering, step by step. And then another really good thing I remember, it helped me. It was a case of, if you don't like something about someone around you, that's actually the mirror. So that's actually something you have to work on yourself. So,
Yes,
and this is it, you have to start working on yourself. And something that again works so well with everyone I work with, it's a case of visualizing. Even when we talk about business clarity, or if it's about in life in general, it's a case of, okay, everyone's like, okay, I want to be a great coach. So let's say it's a relationship coach, right? And she's like, oh yes, I want to earn 6 figures a year. Okay, let's have a look how that will look like in your life. 6 figures a year. Okay, how much do you have to earn a month? What do you gonna do? Okay. Oh well, I don't know. Well, let's talk about it. If you don't know, let's see. Is it 1 to 1? Okay, yes. Okay, how much? Or let's see, it's a membership. Okay, you have a community. You want to pay a membership. Okay. If you pay, let's say, £30 a month, that means you need around 287 for a year to make 6 figures. Okay. How many people you need each month? You do some math and you calculate. Okay, how this will look for you. If you do one-to-ones, okay, how many people can you actually do meetings with them on a one-to-one basis in a week, to be manageable for you, to bring 100% your value, to be there for them? Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, well, let's think about it. So then again, like, is it between 3 and 5? Is it 10? You tell me, because then you have to see the whole picture. What's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 months? You're going to work with them for 3 months. So what do you enroll now? Let's say 6 people now. Usually what I like to do is a case of having five in, new clients, five you're working with, and five kind of being ready to go. So this is what it worked for me the best and for my clients so far. But you do need to think about that and visualize how is that gonna work for you. This is from a business perspective. Now, if we talk about life, again, think about, who do you really want to be? What do you want to do? So if don't think about money issues, don't think about struggles, don't think about family problems, nothing at all. If now I will say I have a magic tool that I can tell you, from now, actually, you can start living the life that you want. How that looks like. Visualize it. I want you to actually try this right now. Just think about what you're gonna wear, how you're gonna feel, what what are you talking about? What subjects are you interested? How you show up? How do you use your voice? You know, what activities do you do? What you gonna eat? What you gonna drive? Where you gonna live? All those questions, and
I
start
do.
thinking more and more. And they honestly, so many times they have no idea. So how can
No,
you go somewhere if you don't even know where you want to go?
exactly. What I've done is I've actually told individuals that I've worked with to go and immerse themselves in that environment so that they can get that picture, because sometimes it's hard for them to visualize something that they have no clue about what it looks like. So how do
Hmm.
we do that, and
Yeah.
working with people, and I'm sure you have, it's an amazing thing because you're able to translate your knowledge into helping them become even more of who they are, right? I wanted to kind of like try let's I wanted to go into your mom speaking, because I know you have a speaking platform, and I'm sure we have people that will be listening to this podcast, and share with them what does that look like, and if they wanted to, join you on that, how would they go about doing that?
Yes, of course. So it's called Super Mom's Magic Circle. And the reason I can tell you why I chose this name is because being a mom, I think we all have superpowers just being a mom. And then magic, because I used to be a kids entertainer, and I strongly believe that we all need a bit of magic. And circle, because I'm all about community. So I kind of go back to all my, 3 steps formula I mentioned to you at the beginning. So
Yeah.
yes, and this community, we have no judgment in it because we don't need judgment. Like we said, we critique ourselves too much and it's enough, the way we do it. And
Yeah.
then we support each other. So for me, when I step in living in purpose and actually be who I am and having that energy, you start running on a different frequency. And then you start attracting the right people in your life and the people that feel you. And it's all about energy, like I said early on. So with my ladies and who's part of this community, it's all about energy. So we feel each other even in words. We support each other, we send love to each other, we do projects together. And this speaking be you project, I started that because I really wanted other moms in business to share their story, to give them the opportunity to share with us their struggles and to inspire us, and also their expertise, because I strongly believe in gifts. And again, it was something that I said, like, look, we can actually support each other. It's not about money, it's not about sales. But if you're true to who you are and you're just showing up, the reality of your life, you're going to attract the right people. It might be a collaboration, it might be a future client, you don't know, but you are open for it. So it's beautiful. And it started in 2 weeks. I had over 50 ladies interested, moms in business. And now I'm fully booked until August. And initially, I started saying, like, I'm going to have only one interview a week with them. It's Saturday. But because it's a global movement and I work globally, with time zone differences, now I started actually putting 2 or 3 interviews a week just because it's going so big, and it's beautiful. And we started working on different projects, and they started connect more, and some of them they will go public speaking events, and others they will do some summits and retreats together, and it's just awesome. And you are more than welcome if you are interested in. Usually I say just send me a butterfly because this is my sign. This is my logo, and just butterflies. We love butterflies, and I will love like a phoenix, to just to be true to who you are and just be amazing. So yes, it will be an ongoing project. So please feel free to join in, and I would love to have you. I know you have a story, even if you don't feel like it's a wow story, it's fine. And even if you're not a mom, it's still okay because I still have a few amazing ladies. They are just sharing their expertise, and they are in a line with bringing value and being in a community that's supporting them. So that's fine as well.
Wow. So I mean, I've already told you I'm very much interested and I am a mom, so I will definitely be on there. But if someone wanted to see the speakers, how would they go about watching what you're doing as well?
Mhm. So they have 2 options. I either on the YouTube channel, which is called Roxandra, and on the YouTube channel we have actually a playlist for this particular project. You will see there, or on Facebook you can join the community Super Moms Magic Circle, and then you can join the community there, which is free. So I don't charge for it, and then you can see the episodes there, and you can see all the magic. We do have some group chats as well, like a coffee chat and a cheerleader chat. I love the celebration. I love to celebrate every single success because I really believe that this is what we need to bring more confidence and to make us, moving forward. And yes, it's amazing. I
Awesome.
really want to go quickly to what you said early on, Lynn, because I remember you mentioned about how do we do this, like when you are lost and you don't know, how to
Yes.
move forward. I had something in mind. So the easiest thing to do, it's just a case of really. So was it a case that you mentioned about being lost, or?
Yeah, like if someone finds that they are stuck, what would be the quickest way for them to? I know you gave them the three, foundations that you start from, but how would you help them to move from that space to where they can get unstuck?
Mhm. The easiest thing you can do, it's an achievement board. Look back at everything you did and you knew, you enjoy doing. And the other thing, it's a case of spending some time in seeing what
Okay.
really brings you joy. What
Yeah.
that feeling when you are planning to go on holiday, and maybe the night before you're just very excited and you cannot wait and you pack the bags and you just can't wait to go on holiday. this is the excitement you want to bring in your life, and this is the the goal to have that every day in your life. So think of some things that gives you that excitement, and think of things when you felt happy, when you felt that pure joy, when you felt the love, and go back and live them again and again and again. And when you feel stuck, just go back to those moments again and just let it feel good. Give yourself a
Mm.
hug and just be in that moment. You deserve it, and you experience that. And again, I go back to neuroscience. 95% of our emotions, we feel them, and this is what it is. We act on our emotions. That's why it's so important when you feel really sad, when you feel really frustrated, when you feel that you're in a place that, don't take actions then. Don't make big decisions when you feel like that. Even in relationships, you're going to start a huge fight with your partner if you do that, or even in business. It's so important, don't, when you're in that place, just pause. I know it's hard, but it's a habit. It's a pattern you're gonna learn. If you start doing it, it's gonna change your life completely. Just pause a little bit and then think. You have three questions to ask yourself. What's important for me now? What do I need? What do I need? Second, what's the smartest choice and the smarter move I can do? Where should I focus my energy so I can move towards my vision?
Yeah,
And then the last one is, who is in my corner? Who should I count on?
yeah.
So yes, I think those those will be the ones. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I feel like anyone who listens to this episode will gain so much truths, so much ways to empower themselves and get in alignment with who they're created to be. So even just this 145 minutes that we've been on, I've already gained so much, and I know that those that are listening will as well. So as we're wrapping up, is there anything? I know we shared your mom's speakers. We shared that you have a stress away zone business that you do, where you coach individuals in breaking that stress and becoming free from it. Is there anything else that you would want to share with the listeners about you and how they can contact you if they need any of these services?
I would say just be you and free your mind. This is my logo and my slogan. Just honestly, you are amazing the way you are. And even if you don't see it, just don't be afraid to show up there. Don't text me or send a message or take that action that you've been holding for so long, and do it for yourself and let the magic happen afterwards, because it's beautiful on the other side. It's amazing, and God has so many ways to show us that. Once you
Yeah.
do the right thing, just lots of things will start, opening for you. So just, yes, be you, be yourself. And yeah, drop me a message on Facebook if you want, or on YouTube, and message me. There's not a problem. Or join the community. And in the community, we can obviously take it from there. Feel free to do that.
Okay, great. What I'll do is I will link your Facebook page to this episode. It will be in the description. So if anyone wants to reach out to Roxandra, you can go ahead and click that link. Okay?
Mhm. It's great.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you,
You
Lynn.
too.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. That was amazing. She is amazing. She has so many different insights that aligns with the word of God as well. The Bible says that we ought to think on things that are good, that are of a good report. He tells us to do that because when we think on these things, it actually makes our system, our mind go into the direction of positivity. So we ought not to think of negative things on like just consistently, because all it does is brings us negative ways of being as well. So let us continue to just remind ourselves to stay in alignment, stay in purpose, walk in the ways that God wants you to go in. And if you're not sure, then you need to pray. Ask him and he will reveal it unto you. But again, I will drop Roxandra's information on the link in this podcast description, and you guys go ahead and reach out to her. All right. So this is another episode of Living Purposely on Purpose, and may you continue to live purposely on purpose. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.